The human frigate Last Word was trapped. 220 Threlxian warships ringed it, engines glowing purple in the void.
Activate your self-destruct and die with honor, Captain, or watch your crew slaughtered.
Then give me a moment to say goodbye to my crew. A captain owes that to them.
Sentiment. I'll allow it, but the galaxy will witness your final moments. We broadcast now.
Richard turned from the view screen and crossed the bridge. His hands were steady as he reached the central console.
Computer, initiate self-destruct sequence. Authorization. Sayers, Richard, Captain.
The console hummed. A red countdown ignited on the main screen. 15 minutes across the last word. The crew heard the announcement. Some stopped in the corridors, their faces pale. Richard opened the ship-wide channel. His voice came through, steady and unhurried.
All hands, report to the mess hall. We face our final moments together. I will explain.
The mess hall filled quickly. Crew exchanged glances, some terrified, others strangely composed.
We all knew this day might come. They offer us self-destruct, or execution.
A murmur rippled through the crowd. Ensign Herrera's hands trembled.
I've started the countdown. In 14 minutes, this ship ends. But it's our choice, not theirs.
Lieutenant Okoro stood at the back, arms crossed. Her face was stone.
He's so calm. How can he be so calm? We're going to die.
Breathe, Ensign. The captain hasn't lost a crew yet. Trust him.
On the Threlxian flagship, Vrith Ka watched the broadcast feed. He pressed a talon to the transmit command.
Galaxy, behold. Humanity's pride destroys itself. Their captain chooses death over defiance. Witness.
The broadcast spread across 1,000 star systems. In the mess hall, the crew stood waiting.
Humanity will remember this day, the day you knelt to the Threlxian armada, out of fear.
Richard and Lieutenant Okoro returned to the bridge, the corridor behind them silent.
Lieutenant, check the port nacelle calibration. We'll need every last spark for what's coming.
Already done. I've sealed the aft cargo bay. No surprises on my watch.
Ensign Herrera caught up to them, his face pale with desperation.
Captain, a private word. I need to know why you are not afraid.
Because I know something you don't. Trust me, Ensign. Do your duty.
A plan? There's always a plan with him.
Richard held his gaze, then turned away. The countdown on the main screen read 12 minutes on his flagship. Commander Vrith Ka reclined into his throne, satisfied. The trap was set. On the Threlxian flagship, Sub-Commander Kale Voss frowned at his console. The human ship's energy readings were off.
That reactor spike. It's not a standard overload. The harmonics are wrong. Commander, the human vessel's energy signature is anomalous, sir. Permission to investigate further.
Anomalous? They're dying. Their reactors are cooking off. No need to investigate.
Sir, the harmonics suggest a directed charge. This could be a trap.
A trap? From one broken frigate. You've been staring at screens too long. Ignore it.
He dismisses me. But I saw the pattern. I must verify this myself.
Kale returned to his station and pulled up the raw telemetry, bypassing the automated filters.
The containment field is inverted. This isn't a suicide. It's a weapon.
He encrypted the data and began a silent probe. If he was right, the Armada had only minutes. Kale's silent probe returned a fragment, a human communication-headed protocol outward. Most of the text was redacted.
Outward, not inward. They engineered a directional blast. This ship is a trap.
He tried to pull the full file, but it was locked behind human encryption. Only fragments leaked through.
Commander, I have proof. The human reactor is a directional charge. It will vaporize the fleet.
You defy my command again. The humans are cowards. They'd never risk their own ship.
Sir, the containment field is inverted. Their self-destruct protects the ship and destroys everything else.
Enough. Guards, detain Sub-Commander Voss for insubordination. I will hear no more of this.
Guards seized Kale's arms. He did not resist, but his eyes stayed on the commander's face.
They will see the truth. Too late. My encryption key will unlock the files for any who look.
Deep in the flagship's network, Kale's encrypted file remained, a silent warning no one had yet listened to. In the engine room corridor, Elena Cross stared at her datapad. The reactor output was spiking in a pattern she'd never seen before.
This isn't a meltdown. It's a directed charge buildup. They're hiding a weapon. Lieutenant Okoro, I need to know what the reactor is doing. These readings don't match a self-destruct.
Damaged sensors cause anomalies. Stay out of areas you aren't cleared for. Cross.
I've covered fleet operations for years. This isn't damage, it's deliberate.
Cross. I am warning you, stop digging. There are things you don't need to know.
I won't stop. Not until I find the truth.
She turned and headed for the ship's main computer core. The logs would reveal what the crew wouldn't. At a maintenance terminal, she found the power diversion logs, all of them sealed by the captain. But seals had never stopped her before. She plugged in a bypass module and began to hack. As Elena hacked, Captain Richard's mind drifted back to a sealed briefing 3 months earlier. Flashback. The Proxima Siege. A destroyer's self-destruct caught 3 enemy ships, but cost all hands. Human engineers rebuilt the mechanism. They inverted the blast, a directional charge outward, protecting the ship within. Classified document. Protocol outward. Detonation radius, 400 kilometers. Internal dampening field, rated for direct exposure. Richard read the file in his ready room alone. His wife's photo watched him. He understood the burden. Now, back on the bridge, he opened the command net. Countdown showed 9 minutes.
Communications locked down. No transmissions without my direct authorization, Lieutenant.
The ship went silent. No signals in or out. Elena's bypass would find nothing but static. The crew wouldn't know the truth until after the blast. Some secrets had to be kept.
For all they're watching, they'll see the real fire in 6 minutes.
Elena remembered the locker of a sensor officer killed last week. She retrieved his personal data chip. The chip contained fragmented schematics, an inverted containment field, outward blast radius, not suicide.
They built a bomb, not a funeral pyre. We're all just bait.
She sprinted to the bridge, past stunned crewmates. No one had time to stop her.
Captain, stop this. The ship's not self-destructing. It's a bomb aimed at the fleet.
The bridge crew froze. On the open channel, Vrithka's laughter rumbled through the speakers.
Even your own people rebel human. This despair is exquisite.
Lieutenant Okoro, escort Miss Cross to her quarters. She's clearly distressed.
You can silence me, but they'll figure out you are sacrificing us.
Okoro pulled her away. The bridge fell silent, except for the countdown's heavy hum. On the Threlxian flagship, a technician unlocked Kale's encrypted file. The full schematics of protocol outward blazed. The design was unmistakable. An inverted containment field, a directed kill zone, not a suicide, a weapon. The technician transmitted the data to the command center. Alarms erupted across the flagship's bridge.
What is this? Another of Voss's ravings.
Then the flagship's sensors screamed. The human reactor's energy spike had surpassed every safety threshold.
By the ancestors. Voss was right. The humans built a trap. All ships. Break formation, full retreat. And open fire. Destroy that frigate before it detonates.
The armada convulsed. Ships scrambled in panic, engines flaring, while others launched a desperate salvo at the last word. Aboard the last word, the countdown reached 8 minutes. Proximity alarms wailed.
They figured it out. Now they're trying to kill us before we kill them. Hold on, everyone.
Human captain, abort your self-destruct now, and I may spare a few of your crew.
You demanded this. Now you'll watch it finish.
Then die with your ship. All batteries concentrate fire on that frigate.
The Threlxian fleet unleashed everything. Purple energy bolts and torpedoes streamed toward the last word. The frigate's shields flared brilliant blue, absorbing the barrage. The hull groaned under the strain.
Shields at 70%, Captain. They can't keep this up without burning out their own reactors.
Neither can we, Lieutenant, but we don't have to. Just keep them busy for 6 more minutes.
The countdown ticked. 6 minutes, 0 seconds. The ship shuddered with each fresh impact. Across the bridge, crew members clutched their stations, their faces a mix of terror and trust. Aboard the flagship, Rith Ka watched the shields hold. His confidence cracked. Rith Ka slammed his throne. Send the boarding shuttles. Tear them apart from the inside. Dozens of shuttles detached from the fleet, engines burning purple as they streaked toward the last word. Explosive breaching pods punched through the hull in 3 sections. Alarms howled.
Security teams, on me. Defend the reactor and the bridge. No one gets through.
Threlxian soldiers poured through the breach, purple energy bolts filling the corridor. Mira knelt behind a bulkhead, rifle bucking. Her shots dropped 2 aliens instantly. On the bridge, Richard heard the distant gunfire over the comms. Countdown, 4 minutes. The corridor became a slaughterhouse. Human defenders fell, but the line held.
Hold this junction. They will not pass.
A console flashed. Reactor core protected. But at a cost. 6 crew lost. Countdown, 3:58. A torpedo blast ripped through the adjacent corridor, blowing open the door to Elena's quarters. She stumbled free, dazed.
The bridge. I have to reach the bridge.
She sprinted past wounded crew and sparking conduits, reaching the bridge just as a volley shook the hull.
Captain, I know it's a bomb, but how can you justify killing us all?
The self-destruct is directional. Cross. The blast goes outward. We're not dying, they are.
Outward. He planned this from the beginning. Everything I fought against was a lie.
She stood frozen, all her investigative instincts colliding with a truth she couldn't refute.
If you want to help, get to a damage control console. Otherwise, sit down and stay out of the way.
Koro grabbed her arm and pushed her toward a vacant station. Make it count. Cross. Elena sat, her hands still trembling. The weight of the truth was heavier than any lie she'd uncovered. Inside the engineering section, klaxons blared. A second. Threlxian squad had found an access tunnel.
Protect the generator. If it fails, the dampening field collapses and we all fry.
Purple bolts smashed into consoles. 2 aliens broke past the barricade, charging toward the generator core. 1 Threlxian slammed a plasma charge onto the generator's casing and dove away.
No.
The charge detonated, tearing a chunk from the generator. The shield flickered wildly, dropping below 20%.
Bridge to engineering. Our dampening field is collapsing. What's your status?
We're hit hard, Captain. Attempting an emergency bypass on the shield control circuits now.
As the countdown hit 3 minutes, the field stabilized at a bare 20%. Just enough, if nothing else failed. The engineering space was a wreck. Half of Mira's squad lay wounded or dead, but the generator held. Barely. A torpedo punched through the weakened hull in Section 4. Atmosphere shrieked into the void, dragging 3 crew into darkness. On the bridge, Elena's fingers flew across the damage control console, sealing the breach with emergency bulkheads.
I could end it now. The blast would still catch most, but some would escape.
On the main screen, the Threlxian fleet was a maelstrom of panicked retreat, but over 100 ships were still within the kill zone. Richard thumbed the manual detonation switch, then released it.
We wait. The protocol is designed for full duration. We give them everything we've got.
The hull breaches are mounting. If we lose more compartments, the dampening field won't hold.
Then seal what you can. We're not robbing our fallen of their revenge because we're afraid.
The countdown hit 2 minutes. The ship cried out as another section crumpled, but the core held. The last word was bleeding. Its crew battered, but it would not break. Not today. In his detention cell, Cale Voss tore open a maintenance panel and connected a datapad to the ship's raw comms.
Commander, you must jump to FTL immediately. The blast radius is 400 kilometers. Your flagship won't survive.
Vritk's console erupted with Cale's transmission. The commander froze, the weight of his mistake crushing him.
All ships, emergency FTL spool. Jump now, anywhere.
A handful of ships vanished into subspace. The rest, caught mid-maneuver, could not spool in time. On the last word, the countdown hit 1 minute. Richard opened ship-wide comms.
All hands, brace for detonation. This is what we trained for. Hold on to something.
The countdown clock consumed the bridge's main screen, digits pulsing red. 0:45, 0:44, 0:43. Elena strapped herself in, heart pounding. Mira gripped her rifle, still guarding the reactor. Richard planted his feet, staring at the screen. 0 minutes, 30 seconds. The inevitable was now. The countdown plummeted through the 20s. Richard's fingers dug into the edge of his console.
Into the ship wide, Richard's voice came low and steady. Proxima remembers. We are the answer.
On the screen, the digits dropped below 10. 9. 8. The air grew heavy.
For the fallen at Proxima, Richard said. The bridge fell so silent, the reactor's hum became a roar.
5. Herrera squeezed his eyes tight enough to see stars. Okoro's lips moved in a prayer from childhood. 4. Elena's hands were ice. Her harness bit into her shoulders as she braced for impact. 3. Richard straightened his spine, chin raised, eyes fixed on the screen as if facing a firing squad. 2. The reactor's scream reached its final, deafening crescendo. 1. 0. A white flash swallowed everything. The white flash became a sphere of plasma, expanding at near light speed from the last word's core. Threlxian ships caught in the wavefront didn't even have time to scream. They simply ceased to exist. At the center, the frigate rode inside a flickering blue bubble, the dampening field barely holding against its own creation. Inside, the bridge felt like the inside of a drum during a hurricane. Consoles sparked, lights died, then flared back.
Hold on. The dampeners are holding.
I can't breathe, but we're alive?
The shaking subsided. The roar faded to a ringing silence. When the crew opened their eyes, the main view screen showed only stars and debris. Where the Armada had been, there was nothing but twisted metal and cooling plasma.
It worked. God help us. It worked.
For a full 30 seconds, no one on the bridge spoke. The silence of survival was louder than the explosion had been.
Damage report. Mira, what's our status?
Structural damage to sections 4 and 7. 9 dead, 16 wounded, reactor stable, dampener field at 13%.
The crew began to move, pulling wounded from compartments, extinguishing fires. The ship was battered, but alive.
We actually survived. I fought this, and now I owe my life to it.
Communications. Send a burst transmission to Fleet Command. Message, protocol, outward, successful. The Threlxian Armada is no more.
The signal raced through subspace. On distant monitoring stations, analysts watched the explosion appear on sensors like a new star. Galactic news networks scrambled. The footage of the Threlxian broadcast, cutting to static, was replayed 1,000 times. From the edge of the debris field, a single Threlxian frigate limped away, broadcasting a surrender signal on all channels. The message from Fleet Command arrived minutes later. Acknowledge outstanding service. Hold position. Reinforcements en route. The galaxy is watching. Across the galaxy, intelligence agencies analyzed the sensor records. The energy signature was unmistakable. The blast had expanded outward, not inward. It was a directional charge, a weapon, not a suicide. Analysts cross-referenced the signature with old human military leaks. They found a code name, Project Outward. A cracked document read, All Terran warships since 2240 incorporate an outward protocol self-destruct capable of vaporizing everything in a 400-kilometer sphere except the ship itself. The revelation hit the galactic news. Headlines screamed, "Humanity's hidden weapon, the self-destruct that kills only the enemy." On the Threlxian homeworld, the Council of Clans watched in horror. Their armada had been annihilated by a trick. The Galactic Council emergency session was called within hours. Every species wanted to know, could any human ship do this? The answer was worse than they feared. Every human warship built since 2240 carried the same protocol. A strategic paradigm shattered. Forcing a human captain to self-destruct wasn't a demand for surrender. It was giving them exactly what they wanted. The Threlsian remnant broadcast a formal plea for peace terms. Their empire broken and their pride in ruins. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the human ambassador rose. Every eye watched, fearful, calculating. He did not apologize. He did not threaten. He simply spoke the truth. We never initiated first. You demanded our self-destruction. We simply complied. Silence followed. Then, the chamber erupted in frantic debate. A Threlxian representative stepped forward. Head bowed, scales dull with defeat. He signed the instrument of unconditional surrender. The Threlxian armada was no more. The balance of power shifted in that moment. Humanity had become a sleeping giant, and no one would poke it again. On the Threlxian homeworld, a memorial was raised to the folly of arrogance, and on a distant station, a battered frigate began repairs, its name now known across the galaxy. The galaxy had learned that a human ship's self-destruct was not an ending, but a promise. 3 weeks later, Richard sat before a bank of reporters. The galaxy demanded to hear from the captain who had pulled the trigger.
We didn't seek war. My crew stood ready to die. I just made sure it wouldn't be for nothing. They asked pretty nicely. I just pressed the button. They thought they understood.
The words spread across the galaxy, repeated 1,000,000 times. But Richard never thought of them as a boast. Later, in a quiet hangar, the survivors of the last word gathered for a solemn ceremony. Richard pinned the Medal of Valor onto Okoro's chest. She met his eyes with a steady nod. Neither spoke of the fallen, but their names were etched into the ship's plaque for all to see. Years later, when the last word became a museum, Admiral Sayers returned alone. He pressed his palm against the cold hull, where the repairs still showed. The galaxy had learned its lesson. For Richard, the promise was kept the moment his crew walked off the ship alive. Across the Threlsian homeworld, the Memorial of Folly rose, a shattered warship carved from obsidian. A child placed a white flower at its base, the gesture a silent hope that their generation would never see such war again. On Earth, the last word rested in a place of honor, its hull scars preserved under museum lights. Visitors walked its corridors, learning the story of a crew that faced impossible odds and survived. Admiral Richard Sayers stood at a viewport, watching the stars that had witnessed it all. He never gave another interview. The single sentence had been enough. The outward protocol remained active on every human warship, a secret no longer. No alien commander would ever again demand a human vessel self-destruct, because now they understood. It wasn't a surrender. It was a promise, and promises, humanity had learned, were meant to be kept.